welcome to Surface Hair for Men. My name is Sara Gallagher, and I'm very excited to share the world of Surface men's barbering today. Surface is a high-performance, salon-exclusive professional hair care that completely respects your personal health as well as the earth. Today, I have my model Erin, who's already been prepared with the Surface for Men Shampoo Body Wash in 1. Organic coconut cream cleansers as well as babassu oil helps for a rich, creamy lather as we shampooed his hair. It makes for a perfect preparation prior to any haircut. I then use the protein cream by Surface Hair just to moisturize and really keep this hair in control while I'll be working through his men's cut. The haircut we'll be doing today is the Retro Glam haircut inspired from our Surface for Men Barbering 3 core cuts. All of our cuts stem from the 3 core cuts for men. And this one is actually our trend cut for the season, Retro Glam. It has more of a old Hollywood, really retro type of feel. So that's what you're really seeing trending with men's hair cutting this season. So we'll be showing you that today. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's identify a proper tool. I'll be working with the Surface comb, and it's specially made so that it's a little bit wider at the bottom. And what this provides is perfect tapering while working with barbering. Cosmetologists tend to hold their cutting comb more like a magic wand or a writing utensil, but with barbering, in order to get great tapering and in order to tailor that haircut for our guest, it's important to work in a technique with first finger on top and thumb on the bottom. That allows us to really tilt that comb as we're cutting, and we can tilt away from the head much easier than holding the comb like a magic wand. So keep that in mind. This Surface comb is phenomenal. I use it in all my cutting in the salon. It really makes your job a lot easier. We'll also be working with the Surface razor. The Surface razor has a silicone guard on the outside of the blade, allowing that blade to be very flexible. What this does is it completely respects the hair fiber. So you can get that really light, airy, feathery texture from the Surface razor and that movement, but without, again, compromising the integrity of the hair fiber. And then finally, our 7-inch blade. The 7-inch swivel blade is perfect for using in men's barbering. It's ideal because of all the wonderful surface area that's on the blade. So we can really have great consistency and direction when cutting and working in barbering techniques. So we'll start out with our 7-inch blade, swivel. First finger on top of the comb, thumb on the bottom, allowing for more control while cutting. I'm just going to tilt his head slightly to the side and then grab all of that hair, just moving really lightly and hovering right over top of the right ear. We're going to work from right all the way around the head to the left. I'm working in a fluttering motion as I'm working up the head. Reason being is I want to make sure that this has a nice flow and fluid motion when doing scissor over comb. We're just cleaning up Erin's haircut today and really showing off the skill with barbering. You could use a clipper, but I want to show off all the fine detailing that this 7-inch is going to create in his tailored barbered haircut. So grabbing that guide that we initially made in through the top, first finger on top of the comb, thumb on the bottom, we'll bring this up and then follow that line all the way through. As we move up towards the top, we'll just tilt slightly away. And I'll continue in the same manner, fluttering that 7-inch over top, scissor over comb, and really making sure that edge is nice and fluid and consistent. When you get to above and over the ear, I like to switch to my smaller surface swivel blade because that allows me to really get in there and fine-tune in detail all around the ear. One technique that I'm really comfortable with when cutting up and over the ear is grabbing the ear between my index finger and my middle finger, and then using the swivel, which really allows for me to cut all the way around that ear nice and safely and clean it up. So just removing those little hairs behind the ear with our smaller surface hair cutting blade. What's really neat about these scissors is they have a lifetime free sharpening. So all you have to do is pay for the shipping and you have yourself lifetime free sharpening. It truly is a very upscale cutting tool for men or for women. And I believe partially that your tools really set you apart from the rest. They make your job a lot easier behind the chair. We're going to clean that up as well using our smaller blade. So I'm just going to get in the direction I want that hair to move, and we'll just clean that up really slightly. We'll go back to blending this into his facial hair towards the end. So don't forget to go back and clean that up, and we absolutely will not, because we really want to create that wonderful word of mouth with Aaron. He's going to leave and he's going to tell all his friends about his amazing men's haircut today. So it's important to pay attention to those details when using men's cutting techniques. Don't forget to edge up the hairline. Don't forget to blend the sideburns into the beard. So moving on, I'll continue in the same manner that I did with the 7-inch, with scissor over comb, in through the back of the head, which is our blue zone, onto the very left side. Now that we have exactly mirrored the scissor over comb on the right side all the way over to the left side, I'm now going to do a technique that is called dusting. Dusting is performed again with the surface razor. The reason that we can do this with the surface razor is because of that silicone guard. So there's no pulling or anything uncomfortable that might irritate your salon guest. What dusting allows is it allows me to cut directionally, and it really softens those ends in through the bottom that were cut more bluntly with our surface hair cutting blade. So with dusting, you just take your surface comb, and we're just going to run that razor really lightly over top of the comb. And notice how it's really softening that edge all over his haircut. This is one of those little things in hair cutting that really means everything. You know, going above and beyond and truly tailoring this haircut to your guest's preferences. And then it's taking that little extra step. This is going to create, again, that word of mouth that we're looking for in the hairstylist world, and all of those fantastic male referrals are going to come in and visit you every 2 weeks. So just dusting really lightly with the surface razor once again. We'll be doing this all over that bottom portion. Please notice the sectioning on our Retro Glam men's haircut today. I sectioned the side ridge and the rear ridge from the top. With surface cutting, we work with zones of the head. That allows us to be more consistent in cutting. We have a surface cutting map, and we've zoned all the areas of the head with colors. So I'm working in the blue zone currently, and the red zone as well as we move over to the left side of the head. The blue zone is considered more so of our interior. The red zone would be the side and around the ear. And then in through the top, we have the black zone, and then finally the green zone. So we sectioned up the black and the green zone, rear ridge and side ridge, so that we can worry about that later. So what we're focusing on is just dusting and detailing in through the red and the blue zone, softening that edge and allowing us to prepare to move forward and cut the top in through the black and the blue zone. So I'm really just using my artistic eye and where those edges need to be broken up and soften that for him. This is going to allow for a very graceful grow out with men's cutting. So it's just going to look a lot more blended as it's growing out, yet we used the scissor over comb technique. Before we move on, let's blend his sideburn into the beard. Again, scissor over comb, and we're just gonna dust and blend that in, removing some of the excess length there and really allowing for a nice transition into his beard. We'll do the exact same thing on the other side. There we are. Perfect. Now we're ready to move on to the black and the green zone. Use my surface clip just to secure that top. Really aids in allowing me to control all sections of the hair. Working with the surface protein cream, I'm just going to lightly mist this over top. The great thing about the surface protein cream is it's a really light whip of our basu oil, which is extremely hydrating, as well as our vegan flower protein amaranth, which can be found in the entire surface line, but it's also found in our protein cream. This is going to make the hair very manageable, combable, and give it control while I'm working through his haircut. So the Retro Glam haircut really channels that kind of James Dean old Hollywood feel. And so we want to make sure that when he styles his hair, it just really falls into place so he doesn't have to work hard. So what I like about the Retro Glam men's haircut is cutting directionally really makes all the difference. There's really three main factors that you want to remember in surface cutting. Number one, cut directionally. So always cut in the direction you want the hair to move. Number two, always cut with your end result in mind. And number three, short hair pushes long. So that's where this short hair pushes long comes into play. We'll be working with shorter lengths moving into longer lengths. And as I'm sure you noticed earlier, with our sectioning from the side and the rear ridge, is we dip down just slightly beyond that rear ridge so that we can create a little bit more fullness in through the back. So shorter hair pushes long away. We'll be starting on the part side, always on the part side, and I'm directly on top of my cutting section. We're just going to switch now to our razor in through the top for cutting for really soft, velvety feel. And I'm just going to slightly work shorter to longer, working from part side and longer in through the back. And the reason is because we want it to be a little shorter in the front, so that short hair pushes that long hair away. So when he uses any of the surface styling aids, whether it's the styling mud for more of that active feel, whether it's the men's hard gel for more of that business feel, or whether it's the men's dry wax for more of that trendy feel, it can still fall really nicely for him directionally. So again, moving from short to long, diagonally over the head. Once you've completed that, you can already see the direction that we're really building in to the hairstyle. So moving now this direction, we'll continue to work from short to long. And one of the biggest things I want you to remember when removing this length is not to round the edge. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I think people make in men's cutting, is they want to round the edge. And we want to make sure that we keep that very masculine corner over here. So by keeping that masculine corner, it really makes that difference in giving it that retro glam feel. So again, we're just coming across the head, continuing all the way across, working from short into long and giving it connection with our surface razor. We really liked all of the length that he had in through the top, but we just wanted to shape it a little differently. So now that we have worked from short into long in through the back, I want you to find the natural part of the hair, which would be right over here, and just part that down. We're going to find the feathery perimeter here and just clean that up and also give it direction. So working on the heavier side, we'll comb really smooth from base to ends, gather all that hair in front of my second knuckle so I have really great tension. We'll take the surface razor and not come in on top, but we're going to come in from underneath and just slightly work again from short to long as I'm flowing with the head to the back. And again, I'll be doing the exact same thing on the other side. So combing that hair really smooth from base to ends. Gather all that hair in front of your second knuckle. I'm going to take the surface razor and come up and around and make sure that you're cutting directionally. We want this hair to really flow back and nice and easy for him. So gathering that and from short to long, working your way back. You can already see the retro glam look come to life just by combing this and letting it fall into place. Once we get in towards the back, we'll just continue that line and give it connection and flow, and coming down almost to a really nice subtle V, creating that heaviness, that slight heaviness, and that line in back for him, because remember with our sectioning, we dip down just past the black zone. If he were a little bit heavier, I could go through, hold the hair out more vertically, and work in a rolling round technique, just to give a little bit more of a bevel. We're still working on growing some of that length in through the back, so it's unnecessary at this point. One last and final thing that I'd like to do to give detail in through the top is we'll be working with our RZ blenders. The RZ blender is a fantastic tool. I've worked with many tools in my day and age, but this one truly is high quality. All of the teeth, if you take a notice, have a really fine-tuned feather razor edge. So it leaves a very soft texture. It's fantastic for blending. The RZ blender is a necessary tool, in my opinion, in men's barbering. So I'm just going to take, again, first finger on top, thumb on the bottom, and let's lightly lift that hair in the back up. We're going to run the RZ blender through the hair just to remove some of that added weight towards the ends and give a really nice soft transition so that when it falls and back, it can blend really nice and smoothly into the back. Now, a men's haircut wouldn't be complete without really cleaning up that neckline for him. So one of the things that I feel really separates you from a good stylist to maybe a great stylist is working with the natural neckline. Take a look at the neck. If it's a little bit wider, perhaps you want to come in slightly narrower. If it is a smaller neck, let's broaden that neckline when cleaning it up to add some more strength to it. For him, we'll follow that natural neckline, and we want it to also grow out gracefully because this is going to be one of the areas that grows out the fastest with your men's haircut. Lucky for us, the surface razor with a silicone guard is wonderful for cleaning up a men's neckline, and it just leaves it really soft, lightly removes that excess hair, and then that way it's a graceful grow out. So it's more natural, and it's not as noticeable when it starts to grow in, which is important because we all have busy lives, and maybe he can't make it in the next 2 weeks, but his neckline is still going to look really great. So let's use our Basu oil to just lightly soothe and add some slip. In the men's line, we also have the shave cream. And the shave cream's main base is the Basu oil. You can use Basu oil and the shave cream over top, the shave cream alone, or the Basu oil alone. The Basu oil is Babasu oil, which is a nut oil derived from a tree in Brazil. It has vitamins A, C, and E, and ceramide 3 lipids in it. It also is lightly blended in surface with some aloe and flaxseed oil, so it's very soothing. So it's wonderful for that guest who tends to get a little bit irritated when using shaving or razoring. It acts as a really nice aftershave as well. So now that I have really lightly massaged that into the neckline, we're just going to get in with our surface razor and lightly remove some of that excess hair that's on his neckline. And it's almost like really lightly buffing that off even. And the guest is going to notice how careful you're being. And look how wonderful that Babasu oil aids in giving it that slip. After detailing the neckline, we are finished. But it's essential to share with Aaron and educate him on the types of products that are necessary in order to achieve the look and really channel that retro glam type of feel. So with Surface, we have a variety of men's styling aids. The men's line is enhanced with sandalwood and lavender for healing properties and a really wonderful natural fragrance, as well as bamboo fibers, which are really strengthening. And then of course, our amaranth vegan flour protein for added strength. My choice of product for Aaron is going to be the Surface Men's Mud with the Surface Hard Gel over top. This is a layering technique of product that I found makes almost that perfect combination to give him hold throughout the day, but also has more of a natural look and a nice natural sheen as well. Our men's styling mud is a more creamy consistency. And so instead of me just applying this into Aaron's hair, I'm actually going to invite him to take a bit of this product and then apply it into his own hair. This is showing Aaron how to evenly distribute that product throughout his style so that it's nice and consistent. So go ahead, and I want you to take your thumbnail and just push back slightly. Perfect. I want you to put it in the middle of your palm and then really melt and rub all that mud together. So as he's working that in his palms, I'll do the same thing with him. So we're heating that up, and we're just gonna lace it really nicely in between our fingers as well. So what I want you to do is I'll spin you towards the mirror, and then you can go ahead and apply that in through the top. So I want you to work through the front and then all the way to the back. Excellent. Very good. And then I'll work the men's mud as well. And so this really shows your guest how to apply the product, how much to use, and it gives them that surface experience right in the chair so that they can go home with the product. The next thing I want to layer over top, just to give it some more hold, is going to be our men's hard gel. The men's hard gel is the hardest gel that you're going to find. And one hot tip is it's necessary to mist your hand down so that it's damp or a little wet. This allows for easier application of the men's hard gel. So this is also something to share with your guests and really show them that I'm misting down that hand and then applying the hard gel into the hand for a nice, easy, and slippery application. So I'm just going to rub that in through, and then again, we'll apply that product from the front all the way to the back. Notice how nicely his hair is laying because we cut directionally from short into long. It really shows off that retro glam type of feel, very James Dean. And again, this is something that is trending, especially in our Chicagoland area for men's cutting. People are coming in and they're requesting this shape. And so with surface barbering, they provide you the education and the tools necessary to create that tailored, trendy look in men's barbering. I'd like to invite you today to use this hair technique before you lose this hair technique. And don't forget to embrace change, because if you don't embrace change, your guests won't embrace change. On behalf of Surface and myself, I'd like to thank you for spending some time with me and allowing me to share the Surface men styling and cutting world with you. Stay tuned for my bonus featured video of a surface hair treatment after this. Hello and welcome back to Surface Hair. Again, Surface Hair is high-performance, salon-exclusive professional hair care that completely respects your personal health as well as the earth. Here at Surface, we don't only provide you with really wonderful hair cutting techniques, upstyling techniques, and men's barbering, but we also give you different types of treatments that you can use in the salon behind the chair to generate more revenue. This is a treatment, more like a hot tip treatment that I'd like to share with you, and I combined a variety of the classic surface treatments that we normally use in the salon together to really give my guest, Shannon, a true surface salon experience. So the first thing that I'm going to do for Shannon is using the surface bamboo brush, I'm going to really lightly lift up any dead skin from the scalp area. The surface natural bristle bamboo brush is really gentle on the scalp, but what it's going to provide me is a really nice technique in lifting up any of that skin on the scalp that needs to be lightly buffed away or exfoliated. This is preparing her for a treatment that is fantastic for that guest who maybe has a dry, itchy scalp. Maybe they have psoriasis on the scalp as well, and they're looking for something more like a treatment in order to soothe it and then help to heal it as well. Because of the organic nature of Surface, all of the products are extremely wonderful for guests who maybe have skin sensitivity. So we'll be working with the Awaken family line as well as the Basu family line. So first step, bamboo brush, we'll just lightly put that on the scalp and lift away any of the scaly skin that might be on her scalp. You're probably wondering why it was wrapped in foil. I sanitize and clean all of my brushes and then let them dry. And then I use a tin foil just to lightly cover the top. Then I can unwrap that clean and sanitized brush right in front of the guest. This really sets you apart from the average Joe stylist because you're taking that extra time to really show that guest that you take pride in sanitation at the salon. What's great about using tin foil to wrap your brush is you can go ahead and recycle it, and you can put it in your recycling bin, completely respecting the personal health of your guest with this treatment, completely respecting the earth by using recyclable materials. So again, that's why I wrap my brushes in foil, because after it's been sanitized and dried and then wrapped in foil, I can unwrap that in front of that guest, showing them that that is almost a brand new sanitized brush. You know, I got to thinking, why can't we do that as stylists, professionals, if you went to a doctor, they would unwrap sterilized tools in front of you. And if you went to a piercer or to tattoo artist, the same rules apply. So that's how I decided to wrap everything in foil. And I'll say it really takes that extra step, and it's those little things that really mean everything to your salon guest. So I'm just working through Shannon's hair in smaller sections, and I'm taking the edge of the bamboo brush and laying it on the scalp and just gently lifting up as I go through her hair. And this is lightly exfoliating her scalp, preparing her for a surface scalp facial. The surface scalp facial is the next step in this treatment, and it's a series of shampoo, conditioner, and treatment. Surface provides literature to any surface salon of the 3 treatments that we offer, and especially that scalp facial. So then that way you have a handy dandy piece of literature that you can look to if you decide you want to provide either treatment. So the scalp facial is from the Awaken line, and the Awaken line really provides cellular rejuvenation and scalp health throughout the whole line. So we'll cleanse her twice with the Awaken shampoo, and we'll also be using the Awaken treatment on the scalp. So the scalp facial is the second step, and I want you to follow all the steps of the scalp facial. That's what we'll be doing next, and then we'll see you back at the chair to finish the remainder of her treatment. We have just finished the Surface Scalp Facial by Awaken. This is the scalp facial card, and again, this is available to any surface salon. It's a really nice, handy dandy go-to so that you can reference how to do the scalp facial. In the scalp facial in the Awaken line, again, it's all about scalp health and rejuvenation. It's going to promote cellular turnover and light exfoliation. So we use the Awaken shampoo in this treatment, as well as the Awaken treatment, which is more like a peppermint cooling oil. The main ingredients that are active, there's 10 vegan microminerals, but there's also peppermint oil, mint leaf, and cayenne pepper. So this entire system creates kind of a hot, cool sensation, really good for those irritated scalps, kind of a nice soothing, cooling effect. So we just finished that scalp facial after lightly exfoliating and lifting up any of that dead skin on the scalp with the Surface Bamboo brush. Now before I even brush through Shannon's hair, I'm just going to use some of our Basu oil. Our Basu oil has vitamins A, C, and E and ceramide-3 lipids. I just open that slightly and then drizzle that onto the hair. The thing about the Basu oil is it has a melting point of 96 degrees. So once it hits your skin, it's just gonna melt in. That's why I prefer to drizzle it onto the hair, so then that way there's no product lost into your own skin. Not that that would be a bad thing, however, we really want to direct our attention on Shannon's hair. By drizzling that over her hair, it's also going to soften her hair texture, so it allows for really nice and easy brush through and detangling prior to the next step of our treatment. So as you can see, I easily am brushing through her hair with one of our surface art tools, our brush, one of my favorite tools, and it's gliding through the hair so we can nicely detangle and prepare for that next step. So now that we have exfoliated the scalp, brought new life to the scalp by using the Awaken Scalp Facial, it's now time to soothe the scalp, treat and hydrate the scalp. So we've pumped a few pumps of our Basu mask, which is a hydrating mask, into this bowl. I'm just gonna have you hold on to that for me. Very good. And I'm going to use these very important tools right here, my hands. My hands are going to apply the Basu mask to areas of the scalp. We're going to focus on the scalp area specifically. So let's just part that hair directly in the center. And I'll be separating the hair into 4 quadrants. And we'll be doing that just so that that way you don't get too overwhelmed with the hair, and you can be very thorough with your application of the Basu mask directly to the scalp. So following that line all the way down to the base of the neck, we'll use our surface grip clips here just to clip that hair out of the way. These clips are really great because there's a nice beak here at the top. It's fantastic for foiling. It's wonderful for upstyling. They put just enough hold on the hair, but without compromising the hair fiber or putting a dent in the hair. It's amazing what those little things that really mean everything working behind the chair. It just allows you to work smarter and not harder. So we're gonna take our fingers, our index and our middle finger, and just apply some of the Basu mask. And I'm just gonna lightly massage that in. Use my pinky finger to section and part and move on. So I'll be doing this through the entire treatment and just focusing that Basu mask onto that scalp area. At this point, this is exactly where I want to be for the treatment. We are providing this treatment at the chair. So, you know, shampoo bowl to chair, shampoo bowl to chair. But this allows for a much easier and even application of Basu mask when you take your guest to the chair to apply. Also, our fingers are really nice and soft, so we're not further irritating or exfoliating that scalp, and it works as a wonderful natural applicator to apply the Basu mask. One key ingredient of the Basu mask is safflower oil, which is sunflower oil, which is extremely hydrating. Plus the wonderful world of Basu, which Basu is a hydrating oil that is derived from the babaçu tree in Brazil, and it's called the tree of life. And it creates amazing hydration and renewal to your skin and to your hair. Because Shannon has a very sensitive scalp, we also apply the Basu oil into her color formula as well. We put a small S pattern, which is about 1/4 of an ounce to 1 ounce of color, into Shannon's color formula. And what that does is it provides soothing to her scalp when working with permanent hair color all over. And just going that extra mile for a guest to make sure that they are comfortable during the color processing really makes the difference for the guest. So that Basu oil in the color only helps to enhance your color application by providing a more soothing experience to the scalp with a permanent color. But the neat thing about it is that if Shannon had hard to cover gray, we could also use that Basu oil into the color to help drive that color even deeper and provide for amazing gray coverage and color longevity. The Basu oil that we drizzled on her hair prior to working through the hair, that's what's giving it all this wonderful manageability as I work through. It not only can be used in your color, not only can be used in your hair and on your skin, but it's fantastic to use if you have a sunburn and you want to heal a sunburn. If you get a brand new tattoo, it helps to heal the tattoo. It's an overall miracle oil. For those of you who embrace the no-chip manicure, it helps to prolong the life of your no-chip manicure. It is the #1 selling oil in my salon, and it can be used for any hair type and any person, men, women, and children. So by incorporating the Basu oil into Shannon's treatment, it not only is hydrating those ends, but then it allowed me to comb through it really easily so that there's no breakage or pulling when I immediately brushed out her hair after shampooing. So here I am, I'm towards the nape area, and again, I just keep dipping my finger, my index finger and my middle finger into the Basu mask, which has our fantastic Basu oil in it, then also safflower oil for deeper treatment. And it actually smells like cake, which is very appealing to any guest. Has a natural vanilla bean fragrance in it. So the smell is just delicious. So I'll work very quickly here to apply all of this Basu mask to the scalp. Now that I have completely finished that application, I'm just going to work in through the front hairline and make sure that I've really efficiently covered everything. And then before we start our scalp manipulation, we'll again drizzle in an S formation in 3 separate panels some more of our famous Basu oil. At this point, this is when I'm really going to create that WOM, the word of mouth that we talk about in Surface. We're going to give her an excellent 5 to 10 minute head massage, really focusing on soothing that scalp, creating that really nice salon experience for the guest as well as treating the scalp. The massage is going to generate the blood flow in the scalp. So it's going to feed the hair, feed the papilla, and allow for more hair growth. So we'll see you back after her soothing and relaxing massage. Following Shannon's 5 to 10 minute Surface Basu mask massage, we then capped her and put her under a dryer, low heat for about 5 minutes, really allowing that Basu mask with that safflower oil in it to penetrate the skin, renew and heal. After that, we just simply rinsed her, put in our Surface styling products, and then gave her a nice sleek blow dry. Again, this was the Surface scalp manipulation treatment, and it was a combination of treatments that Surface already offers to you to use behind the chair to generate more revenue. But what we creatively did is we just combined a couple of those and star players in the Surface family like Basu mask and Basu oil, just to really seal the deal and create that Surface experience and that word of mouth for Shannon. Thank you so much for tuning in, and that's all for now. Again, Surface's high performance salon exclusive professional hair care. I'm Sara Gallagher, and I'll see you next time.